Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo, first year Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi, here our first year in Yerushalyim HaKodesh in the morning, 9 o'clock, Avos, and we are located on the HaKodesh number 6 in the Beit Knesset of Chanukah Yeshiva. It's not too far from the central base station here in Yerushalyim HaKodesh, so you can walk from there, take a bus, have your own car drive, and I'm giving a special invitation to those people who are coming to visit here in Israel and Yerushalayim to join us for a shiur. We will be very happy and privileged to enrich your visit with as much Torah as we possibly can give you. So here we are in the first parak of Avos. Rabbi Yochanan, Yossi ben Yochanan, Yerushalayim made a statement, right, including Al Tarba Sikha Imish. You shouldn't have extensive conversations with a woman. So we've been discussing that for the last week or so. We're about to come to the conclusion of this particular point. We have just the Rambam and the Rebbeinu to discuss today here at Hashem. So let's continue with the Rambam's Perush there, and then to go on to Rebbeinu Yoga. You have the Rambam, the fourth citation on page 2.
Okay.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Okay. Rambam וידוע כי השיחה עם הנשים על הרוב, and it's known that conversation with women on the majority, al harov.
Al harov, I mean, for the most part, right?
For the most part, and navighi be'enei
Abiyah.
Havia.
Right. So the Rambam is making a statement here, right? That it's yidua that conversations with women, for the most part, revolve around the subject of relations, right?
That's today.
Even more so today.
You gonna talk about it?
Well, look, we're not.
I hear them. You're around the world.
No,
the main know the code maybe.
Yeah. The main thrust of the conversation is towards that. That. Yeah. I mean, the first one, the Rambam's saying it.
Yeah, but I'm asking.
Yeah, no. Again, look, I can't say it's I can't say it's 51 3/4%.
No,
like that.
Well, you can talk about babies, all right, baby.
No, well, again, we're not.
Diets.
Now, okay, hold on. But first of all, we have to understand what the Rambam is referring to. Remember, in the Mishnah itself states, right? Al Tarvesika ime isha, the ishto amro. They spoke about with your own wife. Kol v'chomer ishes kaver. I mean, more so with your friend's wife. Now, if the Rambam is explaining that statement, that most conversations, even with a person's own wife, have to do with the union of relations, right? Excuse me?
That's not so terrible if it's with your
Oh, so it's not so terrible if it's your own, right? So again, it's tarba. Don't be having extensive conversations.
Yeah.
There's a mitzvah ritzui that you have to. These things are obviously basic and understood, right? The people, and it's positive, and it's a mitzvah in its time. However, if a person, I'll have to try and bring you maybe for next week, the Vilna Gaon asked a certain question. He says, with most Averas, right, you see that there's some type of a hana, that benefit, pleasure, that a person is going to get from the Avera. There's a general call. Ein adam koite im loy loy. A person's not going to sin unless he's going to get something for it, right? If a person's going to go out so far and do something, like knowing that it's the Ratzon of HaKodesh Baruch Hu, the will of HaKodesh Baruch Hu, and knowing that there's going to be punishments for it, right? So he's not going to do it unless he gets some benefit from it. Like there's a phrase, I'll do the crime and pay the time, right? The other context, in the other way is also cheshbon shalom. They will see this in if I'm not mistaken, the second parak of Avos. Maybe it's worthwhile seeing it, but I'll just quote it to you just briefly right now. Right, the second parak. Rebbe Omer, he says, Ezu derech yishar shirevu olam kol shiseferes lo sefer seferes lo mina adam. That's number one. And now he says, Hayu zahir b'mitzvah kal. Should be careful with a seemingly lenient, insignificant mitzvah, kimikamor, which even with the, as you are with the stringent, shein atayidei matan skar mitzvahs. But and now here, this is the main point. Machashev hefsid mitzvah keneged skara v'skar aver keneged hefser. You have to make a balance between the hefsid of doing a mitzvah in relations to its reward. Meaning, take into because how much time does it take you to do a certain mitzvah? Right. So if you're going to do, let's say building a sukkah and sitting in a sukkah, you make a whole accounting of how much it takes to build the sukkah all the time. Let's say it takes you such and such time. So evaluate that against the reward you're going to get for it, right? And also make also skar avera, meaning there is you're going to get a reward. There is a person's going to get something. What do we mean by skar avera? Must be the pleasure involved with the avera. There must be some skar avera. What could it be? When we get to it, we'll have to understand what does it really mean skar avera. I'm just throwing out on the table right now. Right, skar avera is pashtus, I would say, the pleasure that a person gets from avera, right? Keneged seder in relationship to the loss that you're going to incur, the punishments you're going to get for the avera. So the Vilna Gaon asks the question, meaning because we see from this Mishnah that averas to be done, there must be some kind of reward, some kind of pleasure, some kind of benefit.
Wow, what's the motive? You know,
right? What's the motive? Why do it? So he asked the question with lashon hara. What in the world is the?
I think there's a good geschmack in talk lashon hara, because it makes you feel good that you know you're not the only one that has all kinds of chesurenis.
Yeah.
And the world isn't the nice rosy place, and
right. Okay, but
plenty of other people that aren't so.
Okay, but why talk degrading about this guy? What do you bet? What's your benefit if you want to do the guy in? No.
Stronger, better.
Why? By putting the other guy down, you feel better.
Yeah.
There is such an concept about that, right?
To know about the world, not to be naive. I forget. I never understood why you say that.
Because like when you
gossiping is a good
right. Let's look at it like this, okay? I mean, if we understand it's an avera,
yeah.
Right? We understand it's going to be there going to be punishments for it, right?
Yeah.
Punishments for it, right? So again, what's the skar avera? Neged hefseder, right? So if you're in business, you don't enter into a business or do a business deal unless you're going to benefit from the deal in one way or another, right? So you're gonna gossip, right? You're gonna gossip. So you're going to talk about somebody that maybe he doesn't even know who you are, and you don't even really know too much about it, but you know you're going to say something bad about it.
You can gossip about people that you do know.
Okay, so you people you do, your boss, right? Right, your brother, right?
Yeah.
You could be who knows who, what, how, when, right? So let's think about what's
impossible to avoid, but that's not what it is.
Oh, that's something else. But what really realistically, what are you benefiting from, right? You say to the guy, you guys are so and so, is this and that, right? So you said it, right? So now, if you want to do the guy in, right, and defame his character, right? It's okay. So you accomplish your purpose, right? But what are you really gaining from it? You feel better temporarily because you put him down. Putting him down makes you good, makes you better. Right? So the Lord says, right? He says there really is no, especially in a physical, realistic way of looking things. There's really no benefit in speaking lashon hara. There's no benefit. You don't really get any real benefit. So why do people do it? Right?
There must be something.
So the Lord says with each word that we speak, right? Especially, we can either create kedusha or we can create tumah, right? If you speak the Torah, you're creating kedusha, and that's going to bring mitzvahs gerismet. So you'll get another mitzvah for another mitzvah, right? When you speak lashon hara, there's a ruach hatuma which is created, and this ruach hatuma, right, has the desire that it wants to generate more tuma and more tuma, and because it's not just speaking, the etz and the actual speaking lashon is in fact somewhat pleasurable. People enjoy it. The question is really not that what are you doing, but why? What's the enjoyment of speaking lashon hara? Maybe he's going to eat something which is not kosher, so.
That's what I was just thinking. It's like, man, it's like taking a bite of a steak. A nice, juicy steak. You just want to take a bite. That's how you feel when you're talking. That's how you feel when you're talking about it. It's like the craziest thing.
Yeah,
but it's a physical.
What the world's about.
It's like
what?
No, to want to know about things, okay, fine, right? You could be interested who's going to win the Nobel Prize for Peace, right? So you have this urge to know. So you want to satisfy your urge to know. Fine, okay, very good. You have an urge to know. But it doesn't have to be something degrading, right? You know.
Yeah, that point.
But why is something degrading? Why do you know something? Why do you assert?
Because, well, okay, this is another schmooze. I find that if you want to know and talk about people, you're not everybody's Razi Dazi.
Right.
So you'll come to some Lashon Hara.
Of course, everyone has faults. There's nobody who's completely impeccable, completely perfect. That we know. So
What
if
you're
you look
talking
at
about, like, it's part of the Madrigas Lashon Hara, you know, like degrading or putting somebody down.
Right.
But sometimes it's just know what's going on.
Sure. Okay. So I mean, again, that could be if there's some good constructive reason for knowing that, then there's a purpose. Not so bad. But we're talking about straight lashon hara because again, even
lashon seems to me very straight. You can't even talk about who's the chacham or not. Well, you come to a town, you want to know the guy. Does he know how to learn? How should I talk to him?
No. If there's a tuelis, even speaking about a person, if there's a tuelis, you're interested in a shidduch. So we have a right, a business partner, right?
And the funny thing is, by shidduchim, people are very reluctant.
That's right. That's when they're the tzaddikim, right? When there's something that you should speak about, tell people about.
The guy never opens to say.
Right, because
it's a very hard thing to say
because when you're faced to it, but behind the guy's back, without just talking amongst the guys, in the coffee room about the guy learning up in the base medrash, how he's bottling and things like this.
Right.
But when it comes to a shidduch, you'll never tell them about that, right?
Yeah.
Come to the coffee room for a couple of days. You'll find out who's who.
Right, yeah.
So, getting back to the point, there's a certain thing. Rabbi Gaon says, why is talking lashon hara like eating that steak? It doesn't make sense. Right? We're not talking about revenge. You want to say revenge is sweet. You want to get back at a guy. Right? He did bad to you, you want to get, which is usher, it's forbidden, you can't do that. Right? But at least you understand, right? You admit, we can understand that there is a feeling of, I got him back.
Satisfaction, it's a satiation.
Right, you're not supposed to do that, you're not supposed to feel that, but that's the way people are built, right? People are built that way. But the question is, where's the satisfaction in lashon hara? What have you gained?
If I'm looking at him, okay, number one, I'm not looking at myself, which automatically makes me feel better. And number two, I'm not so bad. Look what he's doing. That's what it provides you. It allows you to keep going a little bit and not continue to want to drown yourself all the time or whatever it is that's going on between your ears.
Okay, fine. I mean, look, there's got to be something in it. Like, there's got to be. No one eats dirt. You don't see people go around eating dirt.
No.
Why not? Because there's nothing in it. People, you don't go around eating dirt, right? So why should they spit dirt out of their mouth? They don't put dirt in their mouth. Why should they spit dirt out of their mouth? So, getting back to the point. So again, we want this again. With the Rambam's telling us, right? You do it. It's known. Ki gasika im anoshim al roiv amnam hi inyoni habir. They have to. relations, have to do with the people interested in relations.
Okay.
Now, yes.
Zugiyot.
What does that mean exactly? People interested in relations.
Yeah.
You're talking about males? You're talking about females?
Males
You're
with
talking
females,
about both?
males with females, and the good old days when the men were doing things with women and the women were doing things with men.
Okay, and who's initiating the conversation? Is it the men going after the women, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But when a man's going to be talking with a woman, right? In general.
But he's not talking about what today is a zugiyot, you know.
No, but the conversation. It's not. He's not. Maybe he may not be speaking specifically about it, right? But he said, you know, what? Oh, you like the opera, and you did this, and you know, like, what?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I should say this out loud.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that the guy is thinking about getting into the girl's pants. Period. The end.
Yeah.
So what the Rambam or whoever it is you're talking about is exactly what he's saying. If I go up and say hello, or if I say how you, or any of those things, ultimately, what's in the back of my mind, I'm praying on this girl because maybe she'll take her clothes off for me.
But, if he means a conversation between male, female, that I can understand.
Right, but
Even though they're talking about something else, but they mean this. Yeah.
there was. I know somebody that so an Arab wanted to came to him. Arab came to him and said he wants to convert to Judaism. Interesting thing. An Arab wants to come and says why? You know, trying to understand what's sticking with this guy. He says that the whole day, you know, they don't do very much anyway. This group of people there, so they all sit around. What are they talking about? Non-stop. Women. That's all they're talking about. All they're talking about. He says he's going crazy. He can't. He wants to get out of it all as he can. That's all they're talking about. Right now, again, we're talking about. Again, we're going back to the time of the Rambam, right? You have to realize the time of Rambam, women were not bank managers, they were not doctors, they were not lawyers, right? But I'll tell you the truth. Even if she's a lawyer, a doctor, a bank manager, when he's sitting there opening up an account with her, right, in her bank, right, deep down, consciously or unconsciously, right, like I told somebody, don't deny biology, right?
Yeah.
You want to get philosophical this way, don't deny biology.
Yeah,
biology works. They're going to show make this world to be filled up. Right?
You can't, any other guy, you can't be a friend with the female. It's or you're doing something or you're not doing
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, pastors, yeah.
Right. Now you can camouflage because he's a bank manager.
Yeah,
And that.
it's
But
dropped it.
you know, but after you fill out the form, it says maybe you're doing something for lunch today, right? Well, you know, if it was a guy, you would ask him what he's doing for lunch today?
Exactly.
No.
Or if you go for the lunch, it doesn't mean anything.
But if he's going out to lunch with the bank manager,
Yeah, but if it's male, female, then
it means something. Sure, it means something. Right? So Rabbi knew what he was talking about. So, and this is even with the man's own wife, right? With a man's own wife. So,
probably it's a different
no, again, we don't. Again, the whole point here, you don't be target. Don't get overly involved with the conversations, right? That's the point. Meaning, you have what you're talking about. You can. Again, we learned about the 5 different categories of what you can. What speech is divided into, so you have to know these things, yes. You know, if you have to know, you want me to go shopping today, and what's on the menu? What do I have to buy? What do you want? Can I help you with this? Can I help you with that? You want me to take care of this?
But then you hear, well, you could talk about shopping. How about a little bit,
Yeah, of course. They also. That's the only thing. We're married after all, right?
Yeah. No, you're not a roommate.
So Rav Bertram says that based on this, that the Rambam is basically saying there's either Torah or there's sex. That's it.
I mean, look. If you want to look, there is no black, there's no gray. Everything, it's either black or white. You're right. You have.
How it works.
That's
how it is.
If you have to face facts. Like I say, don't deny biology. It works. Mm-hmm. It works. Biology works. It's made to work. It's made to work. We might want to be very sophisticated, intellectual, very cultural, but it all boils
Civilized.
civilized. It all boils down to boils down to that's what it boils down to. Look, we're unless you've worked on it, and we're talking about this is what they say in Yiddish. This is the mensch. This is the mensch. This is what the person is. Right? It takes a long time. You know that there's I think was it maybe the Chassan Sofer, I forgot. Or anyway, he had a big work with one of the clergy from the other side. So they went to the local king or the local governor to have a debate. Right. So the debate was having to do with people and their natures and things like this. So the one from the clergy from the other side said, I'm gonna get a cat, and the cat's gonna become a butler.
I think it's before that.
Maybe before that. Rav Yaakov Emden.
I thought it was the Rambam.
That far back, maybe. Anyway, I can try and find out. So anyway, so the king said, okay, I'll give you a month. You come in with your cat, and it's going to be a butler. And if you can do that, then you're going to win over the Jew, and then you can do with what you want with the Jew or something like that. Fine, good. Okay. So fine, the clergyman from the other side worked and trained his cat. And lo and behold, he had him dressed up in a butler suit and came in on his paws, on his two back paws, holding a tray with the thing of tea or something like that. Right? The king sitting on his throne there with all the entourage and everything was. So the Jew comes in. He has a little matchbox, right? What's in the matchbox? A mouse. So there's the cat's walking across the ballroom floor to the throne of the king. There's tea, whatever he had in there. The Jew opens up the matchbox. Out jumps the mouse. The cat sees the mouse, drops the tray, all fours chasing the mouse. Can't change the mouse. The mouse is a mouse.
Yeah, no, but trying to say that you can't change the cat.
Oh yeah, right. Like, yeah, right. The king, you're right. Yeah, can't change the cat. Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't know why, because he proved the point that a cat can train a cat. Otherwise, it stays the nature of running after a mouse.
Right. The essence of the cat is the same. You can civilize the cat, but it's the same. So likewise, we can try and civilize ourselves, but in the end, look at the world now. The world is more deeply involved with these things, and even more permutations and corruptions of what's normal. See, it's going to the extremes of craziness.
Unfortunately, the same-sex marriages are very common in America now. It's crazy. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Because I'll say that they asked the question, why of all places to send Klal Yisrael into exile? Why they were going to try to pick Mitzrayim?
Always the worst places.
Yeah. So because I'll say Mitzrayim was destined to be destroyed. It was destined to be destroyed. So and then Klal Yisrael had to go into exile. And so send them into a place that has to be destroyed, and then in order to redeem them and to prove the godless of HaKodesh Baruch Hu, in destroying the mitzvah, Rebbe would also take Klal Yisrael out of their slavery, out of Mitzrayim. What were they doing so bad that they were destined to be destroyed? So Chazal tell us they were authorizing and writing marriage ceremonies and certificates for men and women. That's right.
I think it said it's one of the things that the government do not do. It pleases them, yes, but at least they don't make it official.
They may. Well, they are making it official now.
America's going to be destroyed too.
Well, I'll tell you something. Right. Last year there was a solar eclipse. We know that Al Pi the Gemara in Sukkah, a solar eclipse is a bad omen for the non-Jews. A bad omen for the non-Jews. Right. Solar eclipse. The sun is symbolic of the non-Jews. Right. So the non-Jews are when it's a solar eclipse. The Gemara says it's a bad omen for the non-Jews. So this solar eclipse this solar eclipse that occurred last year. Let's say this is America, right? This is America, and you have Florida down here, and you have Alaska up here, right? So this is from west to east. The eclipse went from west to east, right? Savannah, it taped off right by Savannah. Came right down through Savannah, right? In I think 5 or 7 years, there's going to be another total solar eclipse in America. It's going to go from north to south. It's going to start in Texas and go all the way up through Detroit and triple up by Canada. Okay, X marks the spot, right? This way and that way. X marks the spot. You know what it's called? There's a place in Illinois. It's called Goshen, the land of Goshen. That's the X marks the spot in America. Right? So America's getting too clear messages. If they take it to heart, that's another story. But it's a clear message that Hashem's giving them their final notice.
Yeah, but one little shred that in the eclipse you can see before. It's just the way the sun is set.
Yeah. The moon comes in front of the sun.
Something like that could change like a storm, It's stormy you don't know beforehand, a few days maybe.
Yeah, no, this is something predictable.
How many years before?
No, so this is the whole before Shemesh. What does it mean that it's a bad omen if something's predictable?
You're right, yeah.
That's the major before Shemesh on the Gemara. So the answer is basically, silver answer. The basic answer is that Rabboni Shalom, with his wisdom, planned these things into the fabric of the universe, that the universe should work, because he understood and knew that at this times they needed to have special, like an alarm clock, right?
Yeah.
Alarm clock wakes somebody up at a specific time. Alarm clocks are built into the fabric of the universe that they should be able to hopefully take the lesson and do tshuva. So all the it's not just happening. Moshe wants to give them a chance. They should do tshuva. They take the lesson that
rainbow is the same thing.
Yeah, rainbow's the same
The
thing.
rainbow is not predictable, but it's just natural. If it rains and the sun shines, it's the same time.
That's right. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says that 7 days before the Mabul began, right, that the sun rose in the west and set in the east. 7 days straight. It's very hard to understand. In terms of the physics of the world spinning and what's going on. Anyway, leave that to Rabboni Shalom, but to such a drastic, absolute, completely drastic, unbelievable change as that, Hashem did such a thing like that because he wanted to wake them up. We got 1 more week left. 1 more week left.
So America's going to be destroyed?
I'm not a prophet.
Whatever.
Whatever.
So simple.
Yeah, no. Whatever. Everyone, look, the world runs. Because we made a promise not to destroy the world. So, we'll see.
Sodomy, they call that in after Sodom. But the Pasuk seems like mainly because of Gaza.
Yes,
Let me say because of that.
not necessarily, but
It's mentioned there when they surrounded the house.
that's I think where people get that picture in their mind. That's what they would.
But the main time was
Right.
how they treated people.
Yeah, it was a lack of chesed, Pasha lack of chesed.
chesed.
Yeah, that's what we mentioned, that the al shloshel devarim ha'olam oimed al Torah v'od gemilas hasadim. If there's no gemilas hasadim, the world doesn't cease to exist.
Yeah.
So if there's no gemilas hasadim, there's no kindness, no mercy in a place like Sodom. So it ceases to exist. Right? Okay, so we'll continue on Mitzvah Shem next week with the Rambam.